All right. We are live. Welcome into episode 5 of the Wildcard Lads. I'm Ryan.
I'm Peter.
And I'm Marcelo. Welcome back.
And,
How's everybody doing?
What a day, actually, of NFL news. Unfortunately,
COVID test.
Tennessee can't stop getting COVID. Another 2 players today.
Stephon Gilmore. Possibly Patrick Mahomes.
That game was not going to be played.
Did you guys see that?
Tennessee and Buffalo.
Yeah, dude. Pat Mahomes is basically like hugging and
you saw the
no
thing,
social
Ryan?
distancing going on over there between him and Stephon Gilmore.
That game probably shouldn't have been played because they only gave it like a 1 day.
Yeah, dude, they didn't wait for the incubation period to be over. And so, because I'm pretty sure this isn't going to be the last Patriot that tests positive either.
We hope so because we can't afford another team like Tennessee.
Screwing up the whole league for us.
I mean, I think Tennessee are going to be forced to forfeit this game on Sunday.
I'm really surprised the Vikings don't have a positive test yet.
Yeah, I mean, what else? They can't reschedule the entire Tennessee schedule.
No.
We already gave them a bye week.
I don't know how they're going to play it out, dude, because now, I don't know. They're not giving, like, enough time between tests. Like, just because teams, like, so this is what happened with the Patriots. They thought that some of the Patriots players were going to have it. They all tested negative before the game, but it takes a few days for you to get a positive result. So then after the game, that's when they started seeing a positive result.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Now everybody
were
Stephon Gilmore was tackling or was near breathing on top of. That's just on the other team, let alone what he's doing on the sideline, hanging out with people, dapping people up in the locker room. He didn't think he was, had COVID. So it's just going to hopefully get better before it gets worse.
Yeah, because the Patriots, I mean, if they're lucky enough, if it stops with Gilmore, they have a bye week after this. So if they are able to play this week against Denver, I guess they can recover. But Tennessee, they're the major question now. I mean,
that's another free win for Buffalo.
Yeah, I mean, I think they were going to beat Tennessee anyway, but like, you just can't afford to keep spreading it around the league. So,
how did we do with our picks last week?
What happened?
How did we do with our picks last week? I'm so mad. I said on the podcast that I picked Cleveland over Dallas, and then Sunday morning I got an alert that Tyron Smith might not that he is practicing and is trying to play. And I switched to Dallas last second. I shouldn't have.
Yeah, I think we did all right. It wasn't a great week, but I think we all went like positive, but barely. I think we went like 10, 11, 9.
I'm looking at I had 10, you had 9, and Markel had 8.
All right. What's your overall record?
So right now I have 42, you have 40, and Markel has 38. So 2 points.
We're all hitting in the 60s. You're 68%. I'm 65, and Markel is 61.
Yeah.
So we had an excellent week too. Last week was a little rough. At least I got the Colts pick right. They
I know.
I watched
surprised.
that game fully. Yeah.
Screw the Jets, by the way. You guys suck.
Yeah, I know. Well, I picked them too. I didn't want to pick them. I knew it too. I was like, don't bet on the Jets. I just picked them because I was a Jet fan. But
screw you guys, man.
That was the best primetime game of the week. Don't lie.
You guys suck.
That was a fun game, at least.
I can't believe, dude. I had so much faith for you guys. I was like, they'll pull it out. The injuries are way too much.
What's actually, I mean, I don't want to say good, but like a typical Jet team would have won that game with like a bad coach. But Adam Gase, you just know he's the worst, so we ended up losing.
Another coach gets fired this week. Not the guy we wanted either, but
no, me and Ryan wanted Bill O'Brien gone for years.
I didn't care, whatever, Bill O'Brien, whatever. But I was just more concerned about getting Adam Gase out of New York.
His time will come. We need to lose more games, so we need him to stick around.
Yeah, we need to ensure that first overall pick, Markello. It's not time yet. But yeah, Bill O'Brien finally fired. I actually didn't think he was a horrible coach. He was obviously a terrible GM. Like, I don't know what he was doing there, but it was time that, he ran his courts. He was never going to get further than second round of the playoffs with the Texans.
And that wasn't even him. That's just Deshaun being Deshaun.
Yeah, and then he ended up setting back the franchise now because they have no. It's just Deshaun Watson
next 2 years.
and Laramie Tunsil, and then you have no first or second round pick. Your defense is aging. Like, I would ship out J.J. Watt. I know it's not a popular opinion. Like, before the deadline, try to get.
Yeah, but what would you even get for him? Is it even worth it to lose?
I don't know. You can get a second round pick from some playoff team.
Yeah, but he's a leader there. He's a leader for that city. He's a leader for that locker room.
I know what he is to the city, but like this team is going to like completely rebuild outside of Deshaun Watson and Laramie Tunsil.
I understand, but is it worth it to trade J.J. Watt for like a third round pick or later?
I think it is. He's on it. He's aging. He's he's not part of Houston's future. He's there for another year or two, and that's it.
Not for like a third, for a second for sure.
How about you don't
Third's kinda
re-sign? I just feel like trading him is. You don't do that.
I mean, their
remember that
defense.
happened in Detroit, and then that's how Patricia lost the locker room, trading away the vets.
Detroit lost.
Respected
Detroit
leaders.
stink because of Matt Patricia. Jim Caldwell was a good coach.
No, I know, but when you're trading away your leaders, whether it's on offense or defense, it's not going to be taken well.
No, I get it, but they have to just shake it up in Houston. Like there's nothing. They're giving up the number one or two defense and like dead last in defense, giving up rushing yards per game. So like Houston have major issues. But at least Bill O'Brien's gone. Hopefully they hire Eric Bieniemy or some offensive, genius.
If I'm the enemy, I wouldn't even want to leave Kansas City.
Well, I think he wants a head coaching opportunity. I don't know if I would go to Houston though. That seems to be one of the last places I would go. I'm just being serious. There's no first, second round pick. They're a mess. David Johnson is like terrible again. So.
Well, is it that I don't know? Watching the Houston games, I don't think that he's terrible as much as it is just the offense isn't good. When you have so many people in the box because you're not threatened by any of the receivers, Brandon Cooks he looks. I don't know if it's just
they traded second round pick for him and he's doing nothing.
Non-existent.
Yeah. 0 catches last week.
Will Fuller is trying his best on like a pulled hammy. But how much longer is that going to last? And so they're not scared of anybody offensively. So everybody's in the box, and there's nowhere for David Johnson to run. He gets hit at the line of scrimmage every time.
Yeah, I mean.
And he was never the running back to, be like elusive as like an Alvin Kamara or, all these other backs. But
yeah, I think he's a better receiver than he is a running back, but still.
And he's not even being utilized there right now. Well, hopefully now with Bill O'Brien gone, it's more opportunity for the offense.
Yeah, they couldn't even sustain any drives. It would just be Deshaun Watson being super.
You can't get any worse if you're Houston.
Are you guys surprised he's the first coach fired? Because I am.
You definitely could get worse if you're Houston.
No, there's no way. No. Their offense, Markel, they couldn't get a first down, let alone a touchdown or a field goal.
I'm surprised he's the first coach fired, though. Like, how was it not Adam Gase, Dan Quinn, or Matt Patricia? But either way, I mean, they'll all be gone this year at some point.
Le'Veon Bell is back at practice today, so he's expected to come off the IR.
Yeah. Everyone on the Jets is coming back to offense, and our quarterback's gone now.
Oh, that's right.
Joe Flacco revenge.
Joe Flacco revenge season, baby.
All right, let's get into some of these games.
I don't want to see Flacco the rest of the
Thursday night, the quick one. Brady already cemented it and put it into the world. The Bucs are winning.
Oh, against Chicago?
Yeah, no question.
I mean, you should question a little bit. They have everybody on offense is hurt.
Doesn't matter, bro.
I'm pretty sure Mike Evans is going to play, though, and Scotty Miller.
Yeah, Brady already spoke it into existence. He's going to go 4-1, and that's it.
Yeah, no, I'm picking Tampa Bay. I was just disappointed in Nick Foles' performance last week.
Yeah, I'm also picking the Bucs.
I'm disappointed in David Montgomery, too, man. I feel like if you're getting that much volume, you should be doing more with it.
Dude, he's not a good running back. I said this last week. He has no, it looks like everything he does is kind of he's slow and he doesn't break tackles.
He looked good last year, though, so it was just weird to see him come out. He doesn't look the same.
The only good game he's had this year was against the Giants.
What happened?
I think it's
the only good game he's had this season is just against the Giants. The only game where he looked decent or good.
Oh yeah.
Well, luckily for the Bears, their second half of the schedule. I looked at it the other day. Their second half of the year is it's a lighter schedule than the other teams have to face in the week. So as long as they could get good practices in and actually give their stars the ball, cough Allen Robinson, they should be fine on offense. It would be nice to bring in a second back just to lighten the load on David Montgomery, but he's the workhorse.
They're using Cordell Patterson there. I don't know if you've seen the Colts game at all, but
no, yeah, but I mean a true running back, not some kind of hybrid.
I think Patterson's better than Montgomery, so I'll give him the ball more.
Oh, Ryan.
I'm serious. He breaks tackles, he's explosive. I would give the ball. I would split that in half, that workload.
No, I'd rather just bring in somebody else.
Yeah, I'm fine with doing that, but Patterson's good. I'd give him the ball more than twice a game. Either way, I mean, the Bears have other I don't know. But Nick Foles didn't look good at all. I mean, the Colts defense is really good. They're actually number one ranked now after 4 weeks. But like still, it was like, what was the difference between Foles and Trubisky? Just not turning the ball over. Like the Bears
I don't
didn't
know.
get any
He's in for a
drives.
rude awakening when he plays Tampa's defense now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so I'm also going Bucks. Brady threw 5 touchdowns this past weekend against a pretty good Chargers defense.
Don't be surprised if he does it again.
Yeah, and I thought the Chargers were pulling away from that game, and one fumble changed that game. Like Ndamukong Suh stripped.
All they had to do, and it was going
Joshua
into
Kelly.
half too. It was going into halftime. All you had to do was stop trying to. First of all, if you're trying to get into field goal position, why are you running it on your own 20-yard line?
Mhm.
Whatever, 30 seconds left. Either throw it or just take the knee and go into half. You have the lead, not to be greedy. And they try being greedy, and they fumble the ball, and sets up Brady for. He was at the 10-yard line by the time they got the ball, and the touchdown right before half, and then he got the ball at half.
Yep.
So
They turned it around. But yeah, the Bucs defense
that's
is too
on
good.
Anthony
The Bears they'll most likely shadow or double team Robinson, and then they'll let someone else beat them. Which I don't think anyone
But
else
there's
is
nobody else
capable.
to beat them.
Is anyone else capable on the Bears of beating?
There's
But
not.
they have some, like Anthony Miller's okay. That rookie.
He's a good wide receiver 3 maybe, but I don't want him in my offense as my second option.
Yeah, and the Bucs pass rush should hit home. So
Yep. So that's unanimous Bucks. That was an easy one. Let's get this one out of the way too. Even if we don't even know if this is going to be a game, Buffalo at Tennessee, it's probably not going to happen.
yeah,
2 more tests coming in today for the Tennessee, whether it was players or staff. There's 2 more positive cases. There's no way they play this week.
I don't think so either.
I think they're going to play, but if they do, like the Bills are going to win pretty
Yeah, but
convincingly.
what if they can't play? Is it a forfeit? You just get the loss and Buffalo gets to win? How do you?
I think
organize
usually
it?
it wouldn't be, but since Tennessee had a bye week last week, I don't know what else they're supposed to do.
I don't know what they're going to come up with because delaying it one day from Sunday to Monday, like they did with the
Yeah, that's not
Patriots
helping in this case at all because Tennessee are
No.
getting positives new positives every
It's not,
single
it doesn't
day.
matter that. What's
Today.
one day going to do? You're not going to get rid of
That's what I'm
Corona
saying.
one extra day.
Tennessee haven't stopped their issues of like spreading the COVID, and so
Well, but we can't chalk them up for losses every week. You can't just give the team losses
well, I
every
mean,
week
this is
because
a little
they're
bit.
not
It's not
healthy.
like it's 1 or 2 people. It's like we're hitting like what close to 15 people on the roster.
I know, but you're going to give them losses every week for that?
Well, we gave them a bye week already. Like you hope that this stops now that they're not coming to the facility, and they had it last week. Hopefully, this is the last week of them. Like hopefully they just stop testing positive every day.
Maybe like 1 week making them forfeit, but if they go on to next
you
week,
can't make them forfeit every week. I'm just talking about this specific week.
I could see that as a possibility only because, like you said, the bye week was last week for them.
Because if they don't forfeit, which maybe they don't, but they would have to extend the season then, like no doubt about it.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do.
Maybe
but,
push back playoffs a bit.
and that's manageable. Well, actually, is it manageable? Because the date for the Super Bowl is set, right? You can't push back the Super Bowl.
Maybe under these circumstances you can. I mean,
Well, I just know because there's a lot of preparation that goes into it. You have to hire people to come certain days. You have to set up.
no, you'd still want it in February, but maybe not the first weekend in February.
I don't know what they're going to do. It's going to
I
be
don't know because this is obviously an unconventional season, so like they have to at this point they have to adjust and they have to change like procedures or something because the way we're going that we're not going to finish the season.
Yeah, hopefully they figure it out. I don't want to lose the NFL season because Tennessee
Yeah,
doesn't know how to keep the players in check.
But yeah, if this game is played and whether it's now or sometime in the future, the Bills are going to win this game.
Agreed. Okay. We have Gardner Minshew and the Jaguars going to Houston to play a Bill O'Brien-less Houston Texan team.
Romeo Cornell season.
Yeah, wait, who's in charge now?
Yeah, Romeo Cornell. He's been like the defensive coordinator there for years. He's also the oldest head coach, I think, like ever, or he is right now at least.
What are you guys thinking for this game?
I don't know. Minshew's really been disappointing me, man. He just looks like another Fitzpatrick, just a younger version of him.
I'm telling you, I think it's just the team around him.
Yeah, I don't think he's working with much over there outside of like DJ Chark.
I don't know. I don't think it's offensive. Like, obviously, defense has a lot of issues, but like,
I think it's both. DJ Chark is a good. DJ Chark's a good receiver, but he's not an elite receiver to where you could rely on him. every third down the ball's going his way and he's going to come down with it, especially if
he
he's getting
did score 2
guarded by.
touchdowns this past weekend. To be fair,
No,
not
this
calling the
past
league,
weekend.
but he's reliable.
No, I'm not saying he's not reliable, but if you're comparing him to the number one wide receiver who's going to move the chains for you and put a point, he can't be your offense. You need other options, especially if you face a good team who have good corners.
Yards.
I feel like you need more options on that team. It's not enough just to have DJ Chark get 3 catches and 2 touchdowns or whatever it is that he gets the past 3 weeks of the season.
Well, either way, I'm going to go.
Granted, he was hurt one of those weeks.
I'm going.
That's what I'm seeing out of James Robinson, the undrafted guy.
Yeah, then moving on from Fournette was a good move.
Yeah, for sure.
Like Robinson's actually good.
You just wish you could have gotten picks for him.
Yeah, but nobody.
But yeah, no one was going to give you picks for him.
But even so, you would have got a 7th round pick if that was a lie. Like Houston, we all picked last week just because it was we kind of shaped it. Kirk Cousins versus Watson, and then Dalvin Cook ended up running all over them. And Cousins played well too, but Texans couldn't stop anything. But I think they will have a spark this week with Bill O'Brien gone. I think this happens sometimes when the coach gets fired. The team kind of has a big week after. Watson's too good.
Under them.
Yeah, Watson's too good for this. 0-4.
I mean, that's the reason we gave for last week picking him. He's too good.
No, it is. It is.
Yeah.
But then again, like Jacksonville have a terrible defense right now. So
hopefully David Johnson could look like the old David Johnson again. He'll have opportunities. Hopefully they feed him the ball because Brandon Cooks is not going to get the job done. Will Fuller's doing what he can. Not even a Flacco. He's playing hurt.
Kenny's still not going to get the job done.
No show. Yeah.
I mean, this is the week, though. I mean, Jacksonville have trouble stopping the run. Joe Mixon scored 3 touchdowns against them. So if Houston don't get the run game going this week, they're not going to get it going the rest of the season. So I'm going Houston. I picked Jacksonville the last 2 weeks. I'm not doing it again for a while. They have to earn back trust. And even though I picked Houston last week, I'm going to roll with them again.
I was wrong last week on Houston. I'm picking them again. I'm not picking against Deshaun Watson.
I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to pick against him this week.
Really?
You going Jackson?
Yeah, he didn't do enough for me last week that I picked him, and I was like, yeah, Deshaun Watson against Kirk Cousins is gonna be no problem. The problem.
Look, it's a divisional game. It could go either way. It's not like anything set in stone.
I think this will be a close game, no matter what.
Yeah, it always is between these two.
I think we see a little Minshew bounce back. I think this is gonna be a really easy defense for him to just tear it up. So. We'll see. I got the Jags taking it though.
Jags 3 in a row. Ooh, Markello.
I believe, bro. I believe they're not taking.
I hyped off them for the week, and they'll win now. When I'm off the train from Jacksonville. So.
All right, we have another divisional game. We have Joe Burrow and the Bengals going to Baltimore to face Lamar Jackson.
Well, congrats on Burrow on his first win. He got a tie and then a win. So.
It's not going to be whatever. Look, Joe Burrow's been amazing for what he's been so far, for what he's been dealt, but you're not going into Baltimore. You're not beating Baltimore.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. Lamar Jackson came back last week and he played like an MVP again after getting embarrassed by Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. He looked just like Lamar Jackson last year. He was running all over the place, and he beat them so bad last week that they actually had to. I think it was at the fourth quarter, maybe even the third. They benched him early and put in RG3 because the game was tucked in away. So yeah, I'm going Baltimore.
Yeah, I think we're all going Baltimore. I like Cincinnati. Burrow's the first rookie quarterback in NFL history to throw 300 yards in 3 straight games.
Yep. Without AJ Green being a factor too.
Yeah, AJ Green, like we said last week,
AJ Green has been non-existent this year. Yeah, he's not even in the offense anymore.
He's out of the league.
It's really sad to see. I loved AJ Green growing up, but T. Higgins, that was a great pick now in hindsight because AJ Green, no matter if he was decent this year, he wasn't a long-term answer for Burrow. T. Higgins is scoring touchdowns every week.
You don't understand. This goes back to management with the Cincinnati and the dysfunction. Not only do we not know, the verdict's still out on Zach Taylor, but even the GM, you should have traded him last year at the deadline when he had value. There's no reason to franchise tag him. There's no reason to keep him. Even he was willing at some point to just be shipped off and start fresh. There was no reason to keep him there. This is back when they knew they were having the first pick and getting Joe Burrow. This is when they still had Andy Dalton and was it Ryan Finley, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could have gotten – it wasn't going to be no first-round pick, second-round pick, but you would have gotten something for A.J. Green, and it just would have been another, piece you could have built around Joe Burrow. It's a shame, but Joe Burrow's going to find a way to win. It's going to be a great division for years to come.
Yeah, I think Burrow's just been as advertised, but against Baltimore, they came back last week. Although their defense has given up some, don't get me wrong, it wasn't crazy. Some of it was in garbage time, but Antonio Gibson had a good day in Baltimore. But Mixon,
Joe Mixon finally getting involved.
Yeah,
finally, the day has come. Joe Mixon got involved.
He got involved big.
3 total touchdowns. He just ran over Jackson. I will say that Markello said this last week. He was getting the volume. It just wasn't efficient. They weren't. But I guess
he was getting the 20 touches a game. He just
when you play Jacksonville's defense, so that's what happens. But hopefully that continues. That's what Joe Mixon is. He's really good. He's been better than what his stats have showed the first 3 weeks. But either way, this is Baltimore. We're all going Ravens here.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay. We have another divisional game. Teddy Bridgewater coming off that win. Ryan, I think you actually picked them last week, right?
Yeah.
Going to Atlanta to play Matt Ryan and the sorry Falcons.
Yeah, Dan Quinn. We say this every week. Dan Quinn should have been fired after that Monday night performance.
I think I picked the Falcons 3 weeks in a row, and they lost 3 weeks in a row.
Smoking them. I told you I will never pick the Falcons. Bro, smoking them. That's it. Falcons are horrible.
Carolina's a good team.
Win another game
they dominate. Carolina dominated once again. Joe Brady is awesome offense coordinator. Carolina was better. We picked them week 1, but they were better than people gave them credit for. They completely dominated that Arizona game.
Yep.
Arizona and we all love Kyler Murray, and it's not his fault. But Arizona is still not. They have ways to go. They're not. They're not a great team.
Yeah, if you get lit up, not taking anything from Teddy Bridgewater, but if you're getting lit up by Teddy Bridgewater, that's a problem.
Yeah, Arizona's defense has ways to go, and their offense has ways to go. As good as Kyler is, there's some Kenny Drake. The run game's not working outside of Kyler Murray. Their offensive line is suspect, and outside of DeAndre Hopkins, where's Christian Kirk this year? I know he scored 1 touchdown, but he's just basically a non-factor. So, but either way, Carolina deserves a lot of credit. This is 2 weeks in a row. Really, Carolina could be 3-1 if they would have converted that week 1 4th down conversion against the Raiders. So Carolina wasn't expected to do a lot this season, but with Matt Rule, an excellent coach, Joe Brady, I'm going Carolina here. Dan Quinn just was letting Robert Tonyan's had a good season, but 3 touchdowns with no Devontae Adams, no Allen Lazard. Dan Quinn's got to go. Did you guys see the play where that guy tackled Tonyan and then he flipped over and scored a touchdown? Yep. You have guys tackling people now, and you still can't cover them. So Carolina is easy. They're going to dominate the clock once again in this game, and they're just going to hold the ball for 40 minutes and beat Atlanta by 10+.
Yeah, I'm picking Carolina too. I'm not picking against them. I think the only thing holding this team back from – I'm telling you, once Breeze and Brady retire, this is going to be Carolina's division for a few years. They're going to have a while the Saints and Tampa Bay's still young, but while the Saints are getting older, the Panthers are young right now. And by the time the Saints move on from veteran pieces, or some people, whether it's trades or because we're a cap space situation, we're going to lose Marcus Williams probably next year. So as our veteran pieces go, Carolina is going to start entering their prime. All they need right now is a better defense because they're all our age. And I just don't think Teddy Bridgewater is a Super Bowl quarterback. But I think it was a good signing in terms of having a bridge quarterback, having a bridge option.
And who would have thought Matt Rule?
Intended.
Who would have thought Matt Rule would have been a good coach? I mean,
look, this is the past 2 times
Jet fans did because we all wanted him. But
look at this.
It's not like the guy didn't. It's not like the guy didn't he didn't build up 2 shitty programs in college. He didn't have.
The Jets were choosing between 4 coaches. Granted, Mike McCarthy is out. Verdict out on McCarthy.
Only boomers wanted Mike McCarthy on the Jets. Only Mike. I didn't want him. Nobody wanted Gase or McCarthy. And the
it was
Jets,
either Kingsbury or Rule. And
every single Jet fan wanted them. I wanted Rule personally, number 1.
It doesn't matter. We would have been better off with any of them instead of Adam Gase.
We know that. I was claiming. If you guys go back to my tweets, I was all in on Rule. So, but either way,
anyway, Julio's hurt again.
At this point, I'm an honorary Carolina fan with Matt Rule and Robbie Anderson. So,
yeah, no Julio too. Todd Gurley got 2 touchdowns. Finally, he came alive in this offense, but
no, Calvin really had 0 catches on Monday night.
Well, that's what happens when you face an elite wide receiver. and Alexander. You don't have to worry about. You don't have the distraction of Julio.
Yeah, and it also looked like he wasn't fully healthy because there was plays where he wasn't in. Same thing with
No,
Julio.
he wasn't ready to go.
Dan Quinn just basically just
Either.
said, my job's on the line. You guys got to play. And
Yeah.
then, yeah, and they
The
both
same
kind of got
thing's going to
hurt.
happen this week. Ridley's playing. Julio's not going to play, but they're going to lose, I think. Kello, what do you think?
Oh, I'm sorry, one more time.
Your pick, Panthers, Falcons?
Oh, Panthers. I told you I'm not picking the Falcons again this season.
Until Dan Quinn's fired.
You're giving them the Jets treatment?
Yeah, dude. The Falcons and the Jets are getting the treatment of no wins for the rest of the season. Not even
What about
like
the Giants?
Yeah, what about the Giants?
look, man. The Giants. I'm a Giants fan. I'll fall for it a few weeks, and I'll just be like, yeah, I think we'll be able to pull this one out. It won't happen, but I don't think we're gonna finish 0-16. I think one team is gonna mess up and give us a win or two.
Hopefully, we're trying to get the number 1 pick. So if you want to do that, go ahead.
Dude, take it. I don't want the responsibility of having to pick Trevor Lawrence.
What do you mean the responsibility? If Trevor Lawrence is there, you take him.
Yeah.
Dude, do you remember years ago? You remember years ago the Colts?
Markel, you didn't want Daniel Jones. Get rid of him.
I didn't, but what are you going to do with him? You wasted a number 6 pick on him.
You just cut your losses and move on.
Yeah, cut your losses like Dave Gettleman. Say
Arizona did it.
Because he did.
They took Rosen with the 11th pick, and they drafted Kyler number 1.
Yeah. Rosen hasn't had a chance since he's gotten in the league, bro.
People say that Lawrence is the best prospect coming out since Andrew Luck. When the Colts had that bad season because of Peyton Manning's neck injury, and he was still on the roster, either do we let Peyton come back or we have the number 1 pick now because we only won 1 game this season. Do we take Andrew Luck? They cut their losses with Peyton. They said, look, we have the best prospect coming out since whoever it was before him.
Peyton Manning. How did the Colts get that back-to-back like that?
Yeah, so they cut their losses, and they're like, look, we know you're still good and you're going to be good wherever you go next, but this is a future. We're planning for the next 10 to 15 years rather than the next, 3 to 4.
So what do we got to tell Daniel Jones? Hey, man, we know we picked you at number 6 2 years ago.
Listen, if the Colts were able to make that decision with Peyton Manning, why are you struggling to do it with Daniel Jones?
Yeah,
it's a different situation.
I'm doing it with Sam Darnold, and I love Sam Darnold.
Oh, you're moving on, Ryan? You're on that train?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For Trevor Lawrence. I'm not willing to get rid of him for it depends where we're picking. I'm talking about first overall. I think it's an easy call. I don't think it's a question.
Really?
Because Sam Darnold's now, he's a year older than, not older, but in terms of in the league, he's a year older than Daniel Jones in the league. So his contract's coming up. He's not going to hit his ceiling. He's not going to hit his ceiling. His ceiling might be screwed up. So, we failed him already. So, we did. Everyone knows we did. So, it's time. We got to get rid of him. If we had the first overall pick, which is looking, as long as Gase is here, I'm pretty confident we're going to have the second overall pick.
It's a race with you and the Giants.
Yeah, and maybe Washington, depending on what happens. Is I don't know.
Well, that's going to cancel itself out, Ryan, because they still have to play the Giants twice. They haven't played each other yet.
Yeah, but I think they'll split.
But even if they split, that helps the Jets.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're going to get the first overall pick. I don't want to jinx it.
Having those 2 teams in the same division only helps the Jets.
Yeah, we have to hope so. But we'll see. It's a long way to go.
Yeah, we shouldn't be talking about the number 1 pick week 4.
This usually happens, though, with the Jets and Giants.
Yeah, I know.
The last few seasons.
All right, so that's unanimous with the Panthers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have the Raiders going to Arrowhead to play Patty Mahomes and the Chiefs. Slamming the Chiefs. I'm picking them every game this year.
Yeah, just like how I'm picking against the Jets and the Falcons, I will never pick against the Chiefs.
Yeah. And
even
Raiders
though they're going to lose
a
game or two, you just don't pick against them.
The Raiders are still hurt on offense, too.
Their
offense right now is Josh Jacobs and
it's crazy, too, because Pat Mahomes didn't even have, the best game, and it was just the defense, played against a really set up bump.
I honestly think if Cam Newton would have played that game, the Patriots would have won pretty easily.
Easily.
I think maybe Pat Mahomes kind of didn't have to have.
Bill Belichick gave Mahomes a very good game this past week.
But I think Mahomes kind of knew he didn't have to have that kind of crazy game without Cam Newton out there. So I think the mindset could have been different.
Yeah, it could have been a different game. But either way, Belichick's giving Mahomes, he's the only basically coordinator for Mahomes not to score touchdown in the first half for three. I think it's 3 out of 3. That's the only time Mahomes hasn't done it.
Yeah, well,
So,
look at it like this, right? So a commentator said during that game, that Monday night game, that teams going forward are going to look at this film and see what Bill Belichick did to slow down Mahomes. Every team's going to look at it and watch it to get ready for Mahomes playoff run or just to play them in the regular season. And they're going to try to mimic Belichick's game plan. And they are going to be very, very sorry when they get burned by Tyreek Hill or Travis Kelce or Clyde, Edwards-Helaire, because one, teams aren't going to have the personnel that the Patriots have, and they're not going to be able to adjust how the Patriots adjust. It's not like Bill Belichick went into the game with the game plan and he stuck with it till the fourth quarter. He makes adjustments. We see this his whole career throughout. Whenever halftime comes in, the Patriots seem like they have 2 game plans going into every week just because of how good they're able to adjust at halftime. So teams are going to try to copy that game plan, and they're just going to, regret it in the long run.
no, yeah, it was genius. I mean, the first quarter, Tyreek Hill caught like 2 passes, and then Gilmore went straight on him after that. So
Yep.
Bill's not going to let one guy totally beat. They completely like double teamed and kind of rerouted Kelce a lot. They were physical with him.
Yeah,
So,
he was getting knocked on his ass, chip blocked, all these things.
but yeah, I want to see that matchup again with Cam, because like Brian Hoyer was absolutely awful.
We might see it in the playoffs.
The time management was awful.
We'll
with
see it in the playoffs for sure.
I mean, how does Hoyer's been in the league for 13 years, and he doesn't know that he doesn't have a timeout? Like,
Yeah,
that was,
you saw how mad that Josh McDaniels and Bill Belichick were. They knew at halftime they were benching him. They knew.
McDaniels. They showed his face on the sideline after. It was hysterical.
Pissed.
But yeah,
anyway, so I feel bad for the Raiders.
Either way, yeah, the Chiefs are going to come back. The Chiefs had their 2 because the Chiefs also, they don't struggle, but compared to most teams, the Chargers also give them a hard time. So it's kind of the Chargers and Patriots. So like the Patriots game's over now. The Raiders defense, Josh Allen threw all over them, and Patrick Mahomes like last season, he's gonna throw like 4 or 5 touchdowns against the Raiders.
Clyde Edwards is dangerous, by the way. Can we talk about that? How dangerous this kid is?
Yo, and he already had 2 of his toughest matchups, and he's still like producing. So
anyway,
this is great. If you have Clyde in fantasy now, his Patriots are gone now. The Chargers, you already played them once. The schedule is lightening up now, so you're going to start to see touchdowns from Clyde.
All right, next game, because we already brushed on the Jets a little bit. We have Kyler Murray and Cliff Kingsbury going to MetLife to face Joe Flacco and Le'Veon Bell and Adam Gase and the Jets.
Yo, I love how you said Joe Flacco. Like, don't even
easy game for Arizona. They're going to go in there. Dude, I just don't get how the Jets underperformed last week, and you do that against the injury, riddled. It was –
yeah. Well, Pierre was a roller coaster. He's basically the whole entire Jets season. Like, he's in good coverage, and then Jerry Jeudy mosses him. And then he gets up a touchdown, and next thing you know, he has a pick 6 going up the other way. So
yeah, he kind of redeemed himself, but he gave up 3 touchdowns, bro. I don't care about that one.
I'm just saying, that's the roller coaster of the season for the Jets.
Yeah, he got absolutely smoked.
But
I don't know. You guys have a lot to figure out before you even think about getting in the win column.
Yeah, I mean, if lucky, we'll win 1 game. But that probably was the game we were going to win. But obviously,
yeah. And Pierre Desir is going to have a very rough time this week trying to cover up DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, this is a perfect rebound game for Arizona. Try to get things right again, because they've looked
for sure.
The last couple of weeks. No Darnold, so Flacco's going to be very boring, statuey. But
come on, Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, that's fine. But we're in the year 2020 now, so I'm obviously picking Arizona. The Jets last week were kind of an embarrassment. Not even because they lost. Like Greg Williams, what is that at the end of the game? Like, what do you do? The game's over, man. Like, why are you getting 3 penalties?
Get that in the locker room.
Like, these guys aren't disciplined at all. Like, they're just giving up unnecessary roughness. Like, I think they had 7 penalties of that. And granted, 1 or 2 of them were unfortunate, like the Quinn Williams sack. Like, the same play happened to Darnold. They didn't call it on Darnold.
Yeah, that shouldn't have been called.
So, that's what I'm saying. But I'm talking about just at the end of the game. That's ridiculous. The game's over. Denver clearly won. And 3 straight plays, you're basically trying to kill the kid. So Greg Williams has to go too. I think that's also part of the reason why they couldn't fire Gase. Because I'm not promoting Greg Williams head coach. He's a complete embarrassment this season. Guys,
so you want a clean house.
His defense isn't disciplined at all. Giving up penalties that.
Listen, it starts with ownership. Yeah, Johnson's not going to sell the team, so you just have to hope and pray that he just stays out of it and doesn't have any influence over any decision. give all of the power to Joe Douglas to hire a good staff.
Yeah.
And hopefully going forward, that's how you start another rebuild. The third rebuild in like 10 years.
The full thing. Because usually we go half in, half out, or like we just do something crazy. At this point, especially if we get the first overall pick, that means we didn't have a quarter. The only position we would have is back in at left tackle. And Quentin Williams, he's coming to play this season.
What are you guys gonna do with Le'Veon?
He's gone. He was gone after this year, no matter what, if we were good or bad. So.
What do you think? Trade?
No, just straight up released. Unless he's traded before the deadline, he's getting released.
Who's even going to want to trade for an aging
for that contract? Yeah.
Yeah.
He would still be good somewhere. Like he's not a bad player. Just the Jets have stunk the last 2 years.
All right, so pretty simple. We're all going Arizona. I play FanDuel, so if anybody's listening, stack Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins this week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Be careful, Greg Williams doesn't put on a bounty on Kyler.
Carson Wentz finally won a game. We pick against him, and he wins a game.
And he looked pretty good. I will say, he looked good on Sunday night.
Yeah, so now him and Doug Peterson are going to Pittsburgh, play Big Ben.
I don't like this matchup.
For who?
Yeah, I don't either. I think it's a really good defense, and he's going to struggle.
Because, I'm watching this game Sunday night, right? How many times is Lane Johnson to come in and out of the lineup? Like, every drive, he was like…
They have nobody else to sub anybody else in.
I understand that, but it's like this guy's clearly injured. Like, he can't go, and they just keep putting him out there. So, I don't know. I'm going Pittsburgh. They had a week off to, probably prepare for this. So, extra time to study film. Not that they needed it, but Pittsburgh's defense line is amazing. Probably the best in the league for pass rush. And Philly's defense did look good, but that was Nick Mullins. I think Big Ben's going to be a different story. Philly will stop the run. I think Connor will be limited, but I just think Juju, Claypool, even Ebron, Deontay Johnson, they'll be enough. Darius Slay's a little banged up, but he's not 100%.
Yeah, the Steelers shouldn't struggle with this team at all. It's really such a shame because Carson Wentz, he has games like, Sunday night where he teases you and he makes you show all the promise that he has and, all the upside he has. Miles Sanders, regardless of how bad or hurt his offensive line is, he's always moving the chains. He's always like a factor for them on that offense. They're always going to go to him because he's that reliable. I love Miles Sanders. And no matter who you put on the outside, Zach Ertz looked horrible.
He's been terrible this season.
They need Dallas Goedert to come back, and they need him to come back quick.
Yep.
I think Goddard's still out for the next 2 weeks, maybe 3, but Zach Ertz looked horrible. And you have all these practice squad receivers that Carson Wentz still manages to throw, 50-yard touchdown passes to.
That touchdown was beautiful.
Dude, he threw it. You saw the replay. He threw it before there was even any separation. Like, if you looked at the wide receiver on the left-hand side, he was 100% smothered. He threw it up just like, I don't know if it was assuming intuition. I don't know what it was, but he threw it up as assuming that the guy was going to get open, and he did. He got the 2 steps on him. That was a beautiful touchdown pass. But I'm going Steelers. It's just a shame for how good Carson Wentz and Miles Sanders is, but they have to keep losing games.
Yeah, I will say though, if Wentz plays like that, even though they might lose this week, they'll be back because the NFC East is a complete joke.
They're number 1 in the division right now.
I know with what
they're going to stay at that
with
2
1 win.
No one else is going to contest. No one else.
They have 1 win.
It's going to be Dallas and Philly again, but I think Dallas will pull away. But either way, it's just like Doug Peterson looked like he just ran the RPO option again, which is good because they kind of went back to that the Super Bowl way, and that Wentz works with that too because he's athletic. Let him run a little bit too.
Kyle, what do you think?
No, I think Steelers. I think Big Ben's going to have a big week. Like you guys said, James Conner, I think, might get bottled up a little bit just because it's a little bit tough running on Philly. But I still think Juju, Claypool, Deontay Johnson, you guys said is playing limited or
he should be. Okay.
He had a concussion,
right? So he should be.
Yeah.
The week
I don't know. I mean, look, either way, even if he doesn't, Ebron should start getting a little bit more touches. I heard, so I don't think they're going to struggle in any terms. I did like what I saw from Wentz, but still, definitely not enough. Definitely not enough for him to do any damage against the Steelers.
Yeah, I mean, Alshon Jeffrey might play this week, I think, and Deshaun Jackson, but
yeah,
I feel like Wentz plays better when he has less.
Questionable.
I don't know. feel like once just plays significantly better when he has
beat
less
Miles
on
Sanders.
offense.
That's their only chance to stay
Yeah, for sure.
competitive in that game.
He did a little bit more against the Niners. I felt like there was a couple like stretches of the game where he was just like not being used, even in the pass game. Because Sanders is good. He breaks tackles. He gets first downs.
Just give him the ball, and it's the same thing with the Bengals. Get Joe Mixon the ball. It's the best shot for your offense. Put the ball
All
in
right,
his
so
hands.
three Steelers.
Yeah, we're agreeing a lot this week. And then this is another mismatch. The Rams are going to play the Washington football team.
Well, Markel, what do you think? Because you just played the Rams. I thought they kind of underperformed against you.
They definitely did, but I feel like the Giants' defense isn't really the problem. I think it's more or less our offense still doesn't have an identity.
Which is ironic.
So
We thought it was going to be the other way around this season.
Makes literally no
yeah,
sense.
right. That's what I thought too. I thought our offense was really going to be the carrying force, but we can't score points. So
You have less touchdowns than the Jets.
yeah, I know, dude. That's what I'm saying. Like that, I think our defense really comes to play every game, but it's just a matter of if you're out there for 40 out of the 60 minutes, you're gonna get points put up on you, no matter what. And then it's your offense's job. You can't hold on to the ball for more than 15, 20 minutes a game. How are you supposed to win? So I don't think it's a knock, but I don't know.
No,
I think
it's
the Rams definitely should have a bounce back week considering how banged up Washington is. Is Chase Young playing this week or no?
I believe he is. They said he looked pretty good on the sideline.
Yeah, but I know they're still without Ioannidis. I don't know. Trying to think. I think I have Rams. I think I like how Jared Goff's starting to connect with Cooper Kupp. I think they're starting to, mesh together again. Tyler Higbee's been kind of quiet ever since he had that 3 touchdown. And I still want to see them figure out the backfield. I can't stand seeing Darrell Henderson go off one game and then Malcolm Brown getting it.
Well, this is what they said they were going to do. It was a committee.
This
They
doesn't
see the
make
hot
sense.
hand.
I agree, Markel. It makes no sense because
it just drives me crazy, dude. Pick one guy. You pick the guy that you're gonna devote your time to, and just let him be your guy. How you gonna establish a run game when you keep switching it up? You know what I mean?
I know, and that's what's hurting them because
I will say it has worked for them. It's just annoying to see because Malcolm Brown had the big week 1, and then it was Henderson week 2 and 3, and then when they went back to Brown this weekend. So
that's what I'm saying. Why you keep switching up the amount of touches? Give one guy a consistent amount of your first down back touches.
This
then
team
mix
is
in
a
the other guy in
play-action
the passing
team.
game, whatever, goal line, fine.
As long as they could keep defenses honest with their run game, as long as somebody's hot and they can establish play action, they'll win the majority of the games they'll play.
Well,
this offense is centered around play action.
To their credit, it has worked this year. The running game in all 4 games have been good. So, but yeah, I'm going Rams here. We've talked about the Rams, but Washington's benching Dwayne Haskins, so Kyle Allen will be starting this weekend. I don't know why they pulled the string so early on Haskins, even if he's not the answer. To give him 4 games, the new coordinator, makes no sense whatsoever, especially because some of the matchups are pretty difficult. Haskins might not be good, but it's you took him in the first round last year, and
but Ron Rivera didn't take him.
No, I understand that. They were showing stats from Josh Allen's first 11 games and Dwayne Haskins' 11 games, and Haskins actually has better stats. Not saying he's gonna turn into Josh Allen because he's not, but it's not enough time for me to give up on him. But that Washington basically have thrown in the towel. They even demoted him to 3rd string, so that shows you they have no belief in Haskins whatsoever. I'm not sure. I would not have went to Kyle Allen. He might be better, or but not.
Think
much.
about it. This is
not much.
When Ron Rivera came, he wanted his guy.
I understand, but Kyle Allen's not his guy.
People forget. I know, but people forget. Those first 4 games when Kyle Allen was starting, when Cam Newton got hurt, when Ron Rivera was still in Carolina, they won 4-0.
They won 4-0. Yeah, I mean
convincingly too. And one of those teams was good. And I remember they should have beat the Saints too, but they had missed field goals. Their kicker Slide missed 3 field goals that game. I remember that last year. They should have beat the Saints, and they didn't with Kyle Allen. So
maybe you're right. Maybe we'll see, but I don't think Allen's an answer for quarterback. I would run because at this point you're just kind of saying we don't believe in Haskins. He's not our guy, and based on this division, we still have. Granted, it's a small chance, but Alex Smith can come in and maybe win this division. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I think there's a better chance Alex Smith would have done that than Kyle Allen.
Yeah. No, look, I obviously have more faith in Alex Smith, but I think it's more of a fact of easing him back in after the injury and the rehab and everything. not to just throw him back in like that, especially against Aaron Donald and, this whole team.
That's
So
another thing too.
the Rams should win it, but this is just Ron Rivera wanting to play his guy. He came in, he didn't, believe in Haskins. They made that very clear from the start. They said, look, if you're not, they sat him down last week and they said, if you're not good, you're getting back. Like they told him.
I know, but it wasn't his complete fault they lost against Baltimore.
The Rams should win this.
Yeah, Rams pretty easily, I think.
Okay. We have the Miami Dolphins going to San Francisco.
Can we just talk about one thing? Why are they still starting Ryan Fitzpatrick?
They came out the alert today that they don't think Tua is ready to start.
Why?
I know he's
I'm not
been
at the practices
for like 2 months.
I don't know.
I know. I think he should start because at this point, like, we already know what Joe Burrow is, right? First overall pick. Justin Herbert has completely exceeded expectations. Herbert is actually good and like really good. So, like, you got to get Tua on the field already. Miami's a decent team. The record might not show it, but they compete. Even Fitzpatrick, who's like last week, he just had garbage time touchdown. But Seattle, it was a close game, but Seattle pulled away at the end. Like there's weapons for Tua to work with. It's not like he's going to come into the Jet team. Like he has Devontae Parker, Gesicki. Like you can make him make him work. Get him some experience. We don't need Fitzpatrick anymore.
Do you think it's just Miami saying like we have our first round pick this year, and we have Houston's?
Yeah.
Like, can we get? I don't know. You're kind of insured. What do you guys figure Houston's going to finish in like the top 10?
Yeah, definitely the top 10.
Right.
So
they
started the season 0-4. You can't come back.
Yeah, so you kind of figure if you're Miami here, why don't we like just secure 2 top 10 picks?
No, I get it, but you want your quarterback to get some experience this season.
Yeah. Look, maybe I don't know. I think they should be starting him now, but maybe we'll see him come in down the line.
He will see time this year.
They were showing the week that they want to do it, or like they should do it. It's like they play the Jets back to back, and some other like I think Jackson. No,
there's a stretch where it's easy
in between.
All right.
But yeah, San Fran, is Jimmy Garoppolo back this weekend or no?
They're hoping. They're really hoping.
Either way, they're not playing Nick Mullins again. What a disaster.
Yeah.
If anything, they'll play
CJ Beathard.
Yeah, Beathard, who came in, he looked pretty good.
Is Mostert playing? I think Mostert's coming back this week too.
He was very close last week, so I think he will be back, but that's not official. But either way, George Kittle came back. What a monster performance. 15 catches, over 100 yards, and a touchdown.
183 yards.
Yeah, it was crazy. Brandon Ayuk scored another touchdown. What a leap. Oh, my God, unbelievable. Deebo Samuel came back last week. He didn't get a lot of the ball, but, a couple touches. Hopefully he stays healthy. So San Fran is starting to get back on offense. Their defense, though, gave up a little bit. They're banged up, but I don't know. Miami, where's this game? San Fran or Miami?
This is in San Fran.
San Fran?
This is a tough one. I'm going to go San Fran, especially after coming off a loss. Like Kyle Shanahan really pissed off with, Nick Mullins. That was a winnable game, even though Wentz played well. They really should have won at home. So as long as Garoppolo's back, I'm going to pick the Niners. That might be a Sunday matchup, though. I might switch the Dolphins. But for right now, I'm going Niners.
Even if it's CJ Beathard, I'm going Niners.
Yeah, even if that.
I don't know. I thought Miami played Russell Wilson pretty well, though, just to be fair.
I think that, but I also think that it's known that Seattle and Russell Wilson for the past 5 years, they always play to their competition.
Not really this season.
Why wouldn't you say that?
Because teams are scoring 40 points against them or 30 every week.
And that's why they score 40 points against them as well, and they win games. And just last season.
I agree with what you're saying in the past, but I think they're just letting Russell Wilson go off this year.
I know, but wasn't that the case this past week with Miami? Miami wasn't scoring that many points, and Seattle wasn't scoring that many points.
Because I think Seattle's defense actually held him to field goals instead. And just Russell Wilson.
But why couldn't they score?
He wasn't just as hot as he's been the last couple of weeks. Miami have a better defense than Dallas.
I don't know what it is. I just think this team's prone to play to their competition. If they're playing a crappy team, I don't think this team is going to blow out teams. I think they're going to play to their competition. So if they're going to score 40 points, that means somebody's scoring close to 40 against them.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know.
That's how I look at it. But
I like what Miami's kind of doing. offensively. I like Devontae Parker, how he's been having. If you notice, Gase got out of there, started fixing things up a little bit. Maybe the Jets should take some notes. I don't know, but I'm sorry, Ryan. I had to.
You mentioned Zeki too. He was a non-factor when Gage was there, and suddenly
Haskins not taking any reps in practice.
Gesicki definitely improved, but I don't think he's anything groundbreaking. But
no, he wasn't getting any catches with Gase. So
it wasn't even a factor. Yeah, I know that. But even if San Fran rolls out with Berthard, I still have them coming back, taking a W. I think Kittle is just a monster. I don't know how you stop. I don't know how does a tight end get 15 receptions and 183 yards?
I don't know.
Unheard of stuff.
Unbelievable, man. He throws people into the ground. Like, he doesn't get tackled the first guy.
He moves so well for being a tight end. You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't know.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So we're all going San Fran?
Yeah, yep. Big W for San Fran this week.
All right, Markello, you're going in on this game. I love watching this matchup every year. It's usually week 1. We're getting it now. New York Football Giants going to play at Dallas.
So this is the only team I think we genuinely play well against. I mean, sometimes, but not all the time. But I have us losing this week. I'm picking against us.
Wow.
Dude, Dallas.
That's a bold take.
How are we supposed to stop Ezekiel Elliott? CeeDee Lamb has been phenomenal. That was Jerry Jones looks like a genius for taking that guy.
He's not a genius. He fell in his lap.
I understand that, but
you would have been crucified if you didn't make that pick.
Team need, you know what I mean? But still, I don't know how you stop that. Dak Prescott, even though a lot of it is garbage and he is making some of his mistakes, but still, no, I don't see. I think our struggle is going to be on the offensive end. Even though Dallas is a horrible defense, I just don't see the Giants putting up anything offensively. Our main guy Saquon's out for the season, and we've just looked pretty lost since then.
No way. No, we're not doing that this week. The Giants, they have to score points this week. I don't care. This is Dallas. Dallas defense is bottom 3 in the league. They are atrocious. Someone put out a milk carton for their defense because you can't run it. No DeMarcus Lawrence. You gave him a huge contract last year. He has a disappointing year this year. I don't even know if he has any sacks. Jalen Smith, another huge contract. He's been a disaster this season.
Everyone's just been playing so bad. Darius Slayton gets targeted 7-8 times a game and only ends up with 3 receptions.
I understand it's been rough for the Giants offense, but this is
Evan Ingram too, dude.
We all get something going. You don't have to win the game. I'm talking about just getting something going on offense. Have a lifeline on offense.
I hope this is the game. I don't know. It's a lighter defense. I hope this is the game, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not even talking about in terms of you winning, just in terms of you scoring 20 plus. I don't think that's hard to ask for against the Cowboys.
I don't think we're scoring 20 plus.
I mean, Dallas they can't stop anything. Dallas. So
if you don't score 20 plus, you have no shot to win a game.
What happened?
If Markel is saying that the Giants don't have a shot to score 20 plus points, there's 0% chance that you're winning this game because Dallas will score 30.
Dallas are going to put up close to 40, maybe even
40. Yeah, 100% we're losing this game, but I just don't think we're going to score 20 plus either. I think we'll score 17.
So you think it's going to be a blowout?
That's embarrassing. I'm sorry.
I don't think it'll be a blowout. I think Dallas just might go
Dallas will score 30 points.
Yeah, Dallas is going to score 30, whatever, and then we'll just ride it out. I don't think they're going to keep scoring.
They will.
It would be really foul if they did, but
they will. The way the season's gone for Mike McCarthy so far, he needs to just get a big blowout win because, I mean, I talked about this week 1. There's not really a difference between Mike McCarthy and Jason Garrett so far. Mike McCarthy's still doing his stuff from the Packers, horrible time management. So, and it's funny because under Jason Garrett, they were never this bad in the month of September. They never started off 1-3 in all his years there. So it's just kind of ironic. I mean, granted, his defense, the Cowboys defense has been horrendous, but it is still kind of funny that, Jason Garrett was there for a decade and they never finished.
Easy W this week.
But yeah, it should be an easy W for Dallas. But let's get something going on offense, Markello. Just something.
Dude, I'm praying for it too. Devontae Freeman has looked obviously he was just signed, but we can't even involve him because we're down so much in games. I think he has 11 carries. He's 10 for the first time and 11 last game. But it's just
where did Slayton go? He had one big game this year and he just disappeared.
That's what I'm saying, man. Slayton gets targeted like 7-8 times a game and can't do nothing with it.
Like we've seen the past 2 years, the Giants excel. Daniel Jones excels at throwing like these short, quick slant passes to Slayton or Golden Tate. And I feel like you haven't been throwing slants. I feel like it's just been you're getting sacked. You're doing these horrible check down passes to Freeman, who's not going anywhere with it, or you're trying to go like these weird deep routes that your receivers either aren't running correctly or Daniel Jones is not hitting accurately.
Yeah, well, what was the play where like no one was running a route? Did you see that for the Giants?
Yeah, like, I don't understand what you guys are doing on offense.
He took like it wasn't a run play either, so I don't know what kind of play calling that was.
That's what I'm saying though. I don't understand what you guys are trying to do offensively. Like, what's the game plan?
I don't think we understand either.
Kitchen's basically running the offense. What do they think was going to happen? Like,
yeah, I don't think we understand what's going on offense either. Ever since we lost Saquon, like I said, it's been kind of still trying to figure out the identity.
All right, well, 3-3 Dallas. We're not going to keep pounding on the Giants, but
we can keep pounding them, but
yeah, I mean, but
appreciate if we didn't.
We know Jason Garrett should not have been hired, so for offense. What's the next game, Peter?
I think Broncos Patriots, right?
Yep. Cam Newton hopefully is going to play.
I doubt it.
Right? How long is COVID protocol?
It's 10-day.
So he wouldn't.
He was diagnosed when?
Saturday.
Yeah, no, he can't play.
Can't play. Even though they said that I don't even know if he has COVID now. They were saying that he hasn't had any of the symptoms, but pretty sure he's not 90% sure he's not going to play.
So you would have to think that it's Jared Stidham starting, not.
Yeah, for sure.
Hoyer.
And as long as it's not Hoyer, I'm picking Patriots. And Denver's still banged up.
If it is Hoyer, though, you're picking Denver?
Yeah.
Drew Lock's questionable, but I don't think he's going to play. I think he'll be back next week.
No, I think even if it's Hoyer, I might pick the Pats just because what the defense might be able to do for them.
Pats defense is too good to pick against still. I mean, even though Gilmore's gone, I believe in their secondary.
Yeah, they just have such a
Sutton, so it's just Tim Patrick and Jerry Jeudy, and Jerry Jeudy isn't even Ripen's best friend. It's Tim Patrick. Noah Fant's not playing this week either. So
yeah, I think I'm going to go the Pats easy this week, no matter who they start.
Patriots pretty convincingly. They're just going to do what they've been doing, just holding the ball, running the ball, and just checking it down. So,
Damien Harris looked really good.
Yeah, they were talking about him all training camp, and then he obviously missed the first 3 weeks. But that's encouraging for them. Hopefully, Julian Edelman can stop dropping the football.
Yeah, but that's been the thing. Even when Brady was there, that was the thing with Edelman. He just drops a lot of passes.
The league and drops since like
that's always been his thing. Yeah,
but still, you can't have that when you're playing with. If you're playing with Cam, it's one thing. Like you can afford a drop pass maybe once a game, but when you're dealing with, especially with Brian Hoyer, you can't. You need to get first downs. So
I'm excited to see when Cam does come back though, because we saw before Damien Harris come back that. Whether it was Rex Burkhead, whoever was moving the ball for them. But Cam Newton would obviously run himself, and it opened up their offense tremendously, whether it was read options, RPOs. And now you have a back that you could rely on, Damien Harris, other than like Sony Michel or Rex Burkhead, who has like 3 good games a year. And I'm interested to see Cam and Damien Harris play together and see what the offense is going to do. But again, it's not going to be this week. It's going to be the week after we get to see it.
Even James White coming back is good just to checking the ball down too, because he wasn't there.
Yeah.
For 2 weeks.
No, yeah, of course, but it's not a game changer. I don't think checking it down to James White.
Oh, when you have Cam, it is.
Yeah, but if you have a reliable 100-yard rusher that you'd expect from that every week.
Yeah, no, nice to rely on James White, but it just like when you have Edelman dropping the football, N'Keal Harry doesn't get any separation, so. Like there has to be other options on this offense. Like it's like Edelman and Bird, and that's it.
But Patriots should beat Denver. They're playing in New England. Belichick's not going to drop this game.
No.
All right, we have Phillip Rivers and the Colts going to the scorching hot Cleveland Browns.
307 rushing yards against the Dallas Cowboys.
This is going to be a great game. I can't wait to watch this game.
Yeah, this is going to be phenomenal because the Colts have the number 1 defense.
No Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt's questionable.
I'm pretty sure Hunt's gonna play,
Yeah,
but
but even
He's not
even
100%.
what's the backup to Hunt? Dernis Johnson, I think.
he had a good game too. He had like
He
13
looks
rushes
pretty.
for
Dude, he
95
reminds
yards.
me of like kind of like a Kamara the way he runs.
The way he looked was crazy good. And I think he's going to have a big game against Indianapolis just because all the pressure is going to be, they're going to focus their attention on Odell and Jarvis and whether it's Kareem Hunt, depending on how healthy he is. But getting like somebody with fresh legs and somebody we haven't seen before and how good he looked in the few touches he had last week, I can't wait for the Browns to give him 10 touches. I'm hoping for up to 15 touches.
I think he had 10 last week.
Did he?
Yeah, I'm
I thought
pretty
he
sure.
had around like 8. But regardless, giving him the ball more, he looked good.
Odell Beckham with 3 touchdowns this past weekend.
Yeah, Odell would look like the
Great
Odell
to
I
see.
loved to watch on Sundays when I was a Giants fan.
People were saying too, when you can't rely on Baker to get Odell the ball, find a way, somebody else to get him the ball. Whether it's him running it reverses or Jarvis Landry throwing it to him, just get the ball in his hands.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Beckham, the way he played, like that's what he's capable of. Like when he flashes, bro, he's a top 5 receiver, and it's not close. Like
It just sucks that he's been, stuck with Eli Manning to begin his career, and now in this Cleveland offense where it's
and last year he
hit or
was
miss.
banged up,
Even
though.
with Eli Manning, though, dude, he was like a phenomenal receiver.
No, yeah, that's he had historic numbers with Eli, but I'm saying you want to see him with like an Aaron Rodgers, you want to see him with these top quarterbacks.
No doubt.
Yeah.
But I will say, last year he was banged up though. Like he said it himself, he couldn't run really full.
I know, but even to begin this year, like just how this offense operates, he's going to have his big games where he'll grab like 2 touchdowns a game, and he's going to have his games where he has 4 catches for 60 yards because the run game's so dominant.
Yeah, but I honestly think he'll be fine with that as long as the Browns are winning like they are. I don't think it's
No, teach his own. As long as they win, I'm picking Cleveland to win this game. I'm not picking against this offense right now, regardless of how good Indianapolis' defense is. I need to see more from Jonathan Taylor. He had an off week the past, I feel like 2 weeks.
They didn't really
ground
give him the
games.
ball like this past.
Yeah, so I don't know what.
But
I feel like T.Y. Hilton too.
And Hines.
I feel like T.Y.
And
Hilton has been like phased out of that offense too.
Yeah, where's T.Y. Hilton this year? He
I
gets
mean, I feel like
maybe
that's
4
always
catches
been
a game
problem
if
with
we're lucky.
Phil Rivers has never been able to like get his number 1 receiver involved. Like he's
That's not
struggling.
true. He was good with Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen, I feel like had down games though, where he was just like absent. You didn't even know he was on the field.
Well, that was more on Phillip Rivers just throwing the ball to the other team than it was. Keenan Allen's always been good.
Yeah.
No,
Whenever Keenan Allen's on a field, he's a star.
T.Y. Hilton hasn't had a 100-yard game since Andrew Luck. So this has been an issue with Jacoby Brissett. I know he was hurt last year, but like this is
Yeah,
not
like T.Y. Hilton wasn't no slouch either. Like I mean, he was a great receiver.
Do we know what's going on with Michael Pittman yet?
I think he's out for a few
He's
weeks.
on IR, no?
Yeah, he's on IR now. Definitely out for a few weeks.
Yeah, I'm also going Cleveland though, and the Colts have actually impressed me. They dominated that game against Chicago. Like that
I
defense.
shouldn't have picked against them. That was dumb.
That defense is coming as advertised. Forrest Buckner is a one-man wrecking crew. Darius Leonard didn't finish that game. Hope he's okay against the Bears. I'd seen him. He was on the sideline, but it just didn't matter. The Colts just completely destroyed. Outside of that last that garbage time Foles touchdown to Robinson, they basically held him to like 3 points. So really dominating performance from the Colts defense. But I'm also going Cleveland here. I just don't think the Colts have enough firepower and offense to be able to stay with the Browns. The Browns are. We said it last week. Stefanski was a good hire. He's obviously a much better coach. He's a competent coach, and he's entering where like he's gonna be a very good coach, I think. But they clearly have their identity. They're running over teams. Their offensive line, man, is really good. I mean, they added Wills, they added Conklin, and this guy Wyatt Teller, who they got last year in like a trade from Buffalo, is outstanding. Like he's like ranked the number 1 guard in football. So like they're literally just pounding teams. They're running over teams. 200 yards against the Bengals, 307 against the Cowboys. Nick Chubb is a pretty big loss, but at the way they're running, the way they're dominating the line of scrimmage, it's not going to matter. Like Kareem Hunt's going to eat. So
yeah, Kareem Hunt's going to step right into the role that Nick Chubb had.
Yeah, but he's questionable himself, Kareem Hunt.
I don't think it matters. The way they're dominating the line of scrimmage, whoever runs the ball.
Honestly, Peter, like you said, dude, I wouldn't even want to pick against this offense the way they're operating right now. I don't think it matters who's in a running back. I think they're going to flourish.
The Colts offense concerns me a bit.
Yeah, I think that's the only reason I would have to pick against them this week is just because, like you said, I don't think they have the firepower to keep up. Because I think once Cleveland goes up by like a score or two, it's going to be say Phil Rivers messes up one drive, it's going to be a problem getting back in because when Cleveland gets that ball back, they're going to score. And we saw it last week. They just kept running it up.
Yeah, I don't even know if
Yeah.
the Colts have enough right now without Pittman to be able to come
Throw the
back.
ball. They have Will Allie Cox, but he's just like inside the 10-yard line or inside the 15.
Yeah, that's what I'm
kind of
saying.
threat.
Like Zach Pascal had a pretty decent game against the Bears, but like they don't have if this turns into a shootout game, which it could, like
Who's going to score points for you?
how the Colts? Yeah, I'm saying how the Colts going to come back, and
Because you can't be running the ball, as much as you want to. Obviously, if you're down, this is, like we say with Baltimore all the time, if you get them down, they can't run the ball. They have to throw, and who they're going to throw.
And as good as the Colts offense line is, and it is really good, it's top 5 unit. Myles Garrett will get there a few times, and that might be the difference in Rivers getting either stripped or throwing a pick. So, and he probably will. Rivers is like still, he's better than Brissett, but it's still like I feel like the Colts are in much better hands if they're in the lead. If they're like, what I'm saying, like the Bears had to come back and they couldn't. I don't know if the Colts offense is sustainable when they're down by like 7 or 10 points.
Agreed. So we're all picking Browns?
Yep.
I want to see that new running back play. I like the way he played.
If you're a Colts, please stop giving the ball to Wilkins. Him and Hines.
Yeah, why was he –
I watched the entire
as
game.
involved as he is?
I had some player in fantasy, but I watched. That was one of the only games on at 425, and so I basically watched that like 90% through. In the second half, Jonathan Taylor had like 2 carries. It was all Wilkins and Hines, which made no sense.
Anyway, Kirk Cousins, surprised us all last week, and he came out with the victory, and now he's going to play Russell Wilson in Seattle.
2 good weeks in a row, though, for Kirk.
But he's always done this.
They probably should have won the Tennessee game, like we said 2 weeks ago. But big win this past weekend against Deshaun Watson, the Texans. Kirk Cousins ended the Bill O'Brien era. So good on him.
Jefferson looks like crazy too, dude. This whole receiving like draft class that we got this year is phenomenal.
And how Jefferson fell to 22? It's unbelievable. The Eagles took Rigger over him.
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Jefferson right now is like second. They were showing a list of like where he is. Stephon Diggs number 1, he's number 2, and a bunch of other like Pro Bowl receivers coming into the league with like he has like 440 reception yards total in his first 4 games. So he's in historic territory. He looks outstanding. Him and Thielen. And I said this going into the season. Justin Jefferson should have been the number 2 right away. There was no need to wait. This guy he put up like I understand like
Randy Moss numbers
and Joe Burrow, but he put up insane numbers at LSU. And he was ready since day one. They should not have waited to get him involved in the offense. But he's here now. Unfortunately, though, you're playing Russell Wilson. You're playing Mr. Unlimited. So
in Seattle, nonetheless.
And I still don't trust Kirk Cousins on primetime TV, even though I think he will play pretty good because of Seattle. I don't like their defense.
Look, it's going to be a shootout, and
I just think
10 times out of 10 we're going to pick Russell Wilson in a shootout.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. 10 out of 10 you will.
And 10 out of 10 times you're not picking Kirk Cousins. So the fact that you're playing Kirk Cousins against Russell Wilson makes it all the easier.
All right, well, that was an easy
Although I will say, I mean, Seattle have been able to stop the run, but, like, Dalvin Cook's been phenomenal this season. So if they do have a chance of winning this game.
Well, that's the thing with Dalvin Cook. As long as he's healthy, he's a top 5 back in the league. He just needs to stay healthy.
But
so
like,
you hope that he would
have a way of winning this game. It's just not very likely when you have Russell Wilson. Like, if they can control the clock and just get Dalvin Cook has another good game. Justin Jefferson involved in Adam Thielen. There's a possibility.
Even Alexander Madison.
Yeah, he scored a touchdown last week.
Beast in the red zone.
So the Vikings have a chance, but it just when you're playing against Seattle and Russell Wilson, you just the way Wilson's playing this year, it's basically him, Rodgers, and I think Josh Allen for MVP. But I think there's a pretty. I honestly think it's pretty close between Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers, but picking Russell Wilson right now.
Yeah, I have the lead on, Seattle and Russell Wilson right now for MVP wise. But that's only because Rodgers hasn't had his weapons healthy this year, and he's still doing what he's doing. To be fair, though, the defenses he's playing is just not,
Yeah, whatever. But you still can't take away from what he's. Rodgers
I'm not taking away.
Crazy.
You can also say the same thing about Russell Wilson because he played the Cowboys and like Miami, so and Atlanta too. So
yeah, but Russell Wilson's going to score points against everybody.
No, I know, but I mean at this point, so is Rodgers. Because I said this when the matchup against the Saints, I didn't believe. I was thinking this was the same team the Packers had last year, where they're kind of lucky to go 13-3. That was really like a 10-6, 9-7 team. This Packers team is amazing. Like Like, it's no joke. Like, it doesn't even matter. No Devontae Adams, no Lazard. No problem for Rodgers. Like, Rodgers is completely
Aaron Jones is a beast.
he's a beast. Even the other guy that got involved, what's his name?
Jamal Williams.
Yeah. And
I'm even scared to see what they do with
Robert
AJ
Tonyan's better-
Dillon.
I said this last week. Robert Tonyan's better than Jimmy Graham. He is.
Could you imagine how good the Packers? They would be Super Bowl favorites right now by far and away if they took another receiver in the first round and then a defensive player in the second round, rather than your first 2-round picks being pieces that are not gonna see the light of day this year.
I could have justified a first round pick for a quarterback, maybe, but then to take AJ Dillon in the second round made no sense. When you have Aaron Jones and Williams, it makes no sense. But I will
Your
say,
first 2-round picks aren't seeing the field. You were just in the NFC Championship.
I will
Get
say
Rodgers weapons and put actual linebackers on that squad.
the Packers.
Now whatever sorry players are throwing out there.
I have a lot more faith on the Packers defense than I do in Seattle's. Like, I think the Packers are the second best, maybe even the first, second best team in the NFC right now.
Really?
Right now, yeah. Aaron Rodgers is not like he had a good year last year, like stats wise, but he's not. This year is a different level. This is like an
Brian,
MVP.
I'm telling you, once the Saints figure out what's going on defense, we're going to be back on top.
We'll see, but I don't think you're going to finish in the first or second seat because of.
Well, no, it's too late now. We started 1 and 2.
So yeah,
But seeding, it doesn't matter as much as it did other years. With there's no fans. It's home field advantage isn't as big as it was. You just need to be the better team and execute that day in the playoffs. Anyway, we're all picking Russell Wilson, Seattle.
yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Last game.
Question.
That was the Sunday night game, by the way. So this is now Monday night. We have Justin Herbert, who's looking really good, going to New Orleans to play Drew Brees and the Saints. However, there's supposed to be a hurricane that's going to hit Louisiana. So there's talks that this game's going to get relocated to Indianapolis, if that sways you guys anyway.
No, that doesn't sway me. I think you guys – do you guys think Michael Thomas is going to play this week or –
I don't want him to. We have a bye week next week. There's no reason. Sit him this week. Let him get the bye week next week and come back week 7. It's not worth it. You're playing a rookie quarterback.
I feel like you guys win this game with or without him, so I don't think – I don't know. I don't think there's the need to rush him back yet. I think
That's what
I
I've
have
been
you guys.
saying. Ryan, what do you think?
Well, for me, selfishly, I hope he comes back. I wanted him back last week for my fantasy team. But
So do I. But I just don't think they need him this week. I don't think they're gonna I don't think this is one of those matchups where they're gonna rely super heavily
here's
on the
the
presence
here's
of
the
Michael
good
Thomas being there for a win.
for my fantasy team though. Like, unlike Gase, I changed my name to Gase's Hyperdrive, so I actually did put my fantasy team into Hyperdrive and I won. But yeah, let's get Michael Thomas back on the field, please. I started a week with Marquez Valdes-Scantling and Jamison Crowder. Don't want to do that again. But the Chargers have played well. Just switching over to the matchup now. Herbert's been better than advertised.
Better than advertised. No Eckler. Eckler went down.
Yeah, that's tough. Hopefully he recovers soon. He suffered a grade 2 or 3 hamstring?
No, I think he's out for 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
No. It was more. It was I thought it was 6 to 8.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay.
It was a hyperextended knee and a grade 2 or 3 hamstring. So
Yeah, it was bad.
brutal play.
If you watched it, he couldn't put any kind of pressure. We thought he tore up his knee ACL, MCL. Yeah. We didn't think it was ligament pulls. We thought it was tears of tendons and stuff because he did not put an ounce of pressure on that leg.
Yeah, and I feel awful for him because Eckler's a good guy and he's a good player. So that's a big loss to the Chargers. But the Chargers impressed me against the Bucs. Herbert was throwing to guys I never heard of.
In the first half, at least. The second half was greatly disappointing.
But
yeah, who's that guy that got the one reception for a 72-yard bomb?
What a throw, though. He threw that off his back leg, Herbert.
Well, we always knew that Herbert had the arm. It was the decision-making that was always the concern.
Granted, he played at what? Where did he play? UCLA?
Herbert played at Oregon.
Oregon. He was in Oregon.
Granted, the receivers weren't good, but his accuracy is on a different level, especially on the deep ball. He's hitting people in stride. So.
Well, I don't think it was ever a problem with him throwing the ball that was concerning. I think it was just
decision making.
Yeah, his decision making, and he doesn't know how to read.
I don't know. I thought he was a lot more like Josh Allen coming into the league, but he's out. He's unbelievable, Herbert, right now. But the Saints, they obviously got the win against Detroit in a pretty good game.
Comeback win. I thought we were going to lose. We started off the first 5 minutes of the game down 14-0.
Yeah, Detroit came off came out on fire, which they always do. This is the 4th time they blew lead this year. So it's just typical.
Had 4 weeks.
Typical Patricia. You're hired as the head coach to run defense, and you didn't stop the Saints once, almost all games.
Finally, Latavius Murray gets involved. Thank the Lord. Let's keep it going. I think Sean Payton's starting to figure it out. It is possible. Kamara is at his best, or you could still give the workload to Kamara and he'll be good. But the offense as a whole is at its best when we don't have one workhorse back. When you have Kamara, you're having a limited amount of touches because he's just as efficient as any running back in the league. So he doesn't need that many touches or targets. You get Latavius Murray to ground and pound. Whenever Latavius Murray's on the field, the opposing defense gets tired. I've just seen it for 2 years. They get tired. I see them huffing and puffing, just trying to bring him down because how powerful he is. He holds on the ball. He protects the football. You can't inside the 5. Either running back is good. So get Latavius Murray the ball more. We win games that way.
Yeah, so it was a big bounce back for the Saints. Obviously, good to get back in the win column. I'm gonna pick the Saints here. But I actually think this is gonna be a close matchup.
It will be close.
I know the Chargers are banged up, and
if this was in New Orleans and we had fans, I think it would be definitively the Saints.
yeah,
But being that it's going to be maybe in Indianapolis, it's up in the air 50-50 now.
I do want
And
Michael
again,
Thomas to play because I think that is still a concern for me. Even though Detroit just seemed to give points to anybody.
it's not worth it though, Ryan.
No, I understand, but I don't think the Chargers defense is a pushover like Detroit.
Definitely not, but I think
Well, I actually want to see this matchup. If Michael Thomas is playing, I'm gonna pick the Saints, but I might switch this to the Chargers. Even though Eckler's not playing, I don't know. I just like the Chargers. Even though they tend to blown leads and they've also given up winnable games, but yeah, I'm most likely gonna pick the Saints.
I would have to pick the Saints too. So we agreed a lot this week.
Yeah, this week there wasn't really as many, I guess, interesting games as last week.
Well, I think the most interesting game to me, the game I'm looking forward to the most is Colts Browns.
Yeah.
That's the only one that could go either way.
I mean, I'm sure
everything else and Texans Jaguars, it's not going to be as exciting as watching Browns offense.
I'm sure we'll be wrong about 2 or 3. It's usually what happens. But
yeah, it's the NFL upsets happen.
This seems to be a week that will probably get, I don't know, 80% right.
Pretty much, yeah.
Hopefully.
Giants might surprise us and come through with a W, but
no, they're not. Don't. You're giving yourself false hope.
I picked against us. I said we're losing.
No, but right now what you did just now was left the door just this much open, and you're giving yourself that sense of false hope.
Doors in life, you never.
Mine
know
does that every year. Every year. I remember was it last year? It was last year. The whole mono thing happens, and the Jets are losing games that they should be winning. And Ryan's throwing the towel. The season's, a bust. Throw it in. Sam Darnold's hurt. Adam Gase sucks. Throw it in. I'm not watching the Jets. They suck. They're not winning a game, blah, blah, blah. Then it's the upset win against Dallas. And Ryan comes back in.
Give them a spoiler alert. Who picked the Jets to win that game?
You did, to be fair. But then he comes back into St. John's cafeteria, and he's like, Peter, I'm back on board. It's happening. We're going to the playoffs.
Yeah,
Sam Darnold's going to come back, and we're going to go on a winning streak, and we're going to the playoffs.
Funny enough, I actually went to that Patriot game the next week, and we lost 43-0 or 43-3. It was a fun time at the stadium, but brutal performance.
Anyway, those were our picks, and we will see all of you guys next week, hopefully being 80% or more right.
Yeah, and hopefully the NFL figures out this whole COVID situation. Maybe they come up with a different.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what they do with Tennessee. We're probably going to find out Friday or Saturday.
Yeah, and hopefully it stops with the Patriots. Hopefully Stephon Gilmore is the last person to get it, and we continue on with the season. So, well, thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you next week.
See you guys next week.
See you guys.